Welcome to the Voice of Oneness, your call to awaken. This show is your call to awaken to the truth of your being through the teachings of the Voice of Oneness, spoken by Amara. On this show, you will receive spiritual guidance and the teachings of oneness from the heart of spirit directly to your heart, along with the tools and techniques to apply these teachings to your day-to-day life. Tuning in each week, you will grow in a deeper, richer understanding of your true nature as teachings are offered about universal spiritual laws that govern our lives. You will learn the right use and application of these laws to achieve the richest life from the perspective of experiencing abundance in all areas of your life. Amara Bonet is a renowned psychic, spiritual teacher, coach, energy healer, mystic, and gifted visionary who taps into the higher realms to join with the vast collective of source energy. Now, your host of Voice of Oneness, Amara Bonet.
Welcome, friends, to the Voice of Oneness, your call to awaken, where each week we present enlightening and thought-provoking information that serves individuals seeking a deeper connection to themselves, to others, and to the world through the teachings of oneness. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or someone just beginning their awakening journey, we offer a safe space for exploration, understanding, growth, and transformation. I am Amara Bonet, your host and presenter of the Voice of Oneness. This week, our title of the podcast is Connecting the Dots, the Law of Correspondence in Everyday Life. So I try to take the theme that we have and place it into the context of everyday life, because we're all living through a very challenging time. So I want to make it applicable to what's going on for us in our day-to-day life, not just talk about the theory or the origin of a concept or get very technical into the laws of the universe, but really glean from them that which makes sense to almost everyone, and that we can utilize and apply so that we can move through these challenging times with a bit more ease and understanding of what's really going on. Not what we're being told what's going on, but that we can find our way to navigate through these times with our own inner knowing of which we're tuning into, and we're experiencing what is true for us and not what is part of the program. So that is my intention for what we're doing here. So this week, the description is, we are taking a deep dive and we're going to embark on a journey into the profound and mystical realm of the Law of Correspondence. Our exploration will reveal how understanding this law results in personal growth, self-discovery, and a deeper connection to the universe. Self-discovery, all about going inside oneself and understanding the truth of that which we are, our true nature, and our position in this great play of life. We understand our role in a more powerful way. So I want to begin with a prayer here that I wrote many years ago, and I read it last week, and I really liked it, and I thought I'd read it again, and I'd make it part of the beginning of the podcast. So to come in resonance with each other and to open up and to allow this information, this gift to flow within and receive that which is here, I want to ask you to close your eyes with me. And we're going to take 3 breaths in. So we're going to breathe in, hold that breath, and release that breath. So we're just breathing in, holding the breath, and just relaxing for a moment, just being present within ourselves, our own energy. Breathe in, hold, and release. Very good. Now let's take one final breath in, hold, and release. Beautiful. O source of infinite love, let your presence come alive within me now, that together we may shine your luminous light so brightly that all are drawn to ignite the flame within themselves of your ever-burning love. Let each being open to their expansion of cosmic consciousness, so to uplift themselves and the collective consciousness to greater and greater reflections of wholeness, where peace reigns and all are free, where love is the way expressed in every heart. Let all join in oneness. Oh, this is my prayer. Infinite intelligence, God, Creator, all that is. I know it is done as my heart burns with your love. My consciousness is illumined by your light, and my experience is of your will be done in the joyful expanse of eternal oneness. We dance as one. Amen. So tonight we're going to talk about the law of correspondence. And when we're going to speak of correspondence meaning communication. This is communication. This is about the communication from the Creator, from God, from the soul, from Source to us. That's always existing, whether we realize it or not. You are divine essence in a manifested form you call your physical form. The manifestation of you in your physical form is the direct correspondence to your level of conscious awareness. You see it all based on how you are feeling about you inside of you. So you see it all as based on how you are feeling inside of you. Any inadequacies apparent from outside viewing are always the result of holding inadequacies in thought regarding the self. The valuing of self in regards to how one perceives themselves in relation to others and the world around them is part of the growing process. That's part of our evolving consciousness. That's part of the experiencing of life. And that was written by the Voice of Oneness. Next, I want to read a quote. There are planes beyond your knowing, planes of existence beyond your knowing. But when we apply the principle of correspondence to them, we are able to understand much that would otherwise be unknowable to us. And that's the Kabbalion. So when we have this understanding of the principle of correspondence, it opens us up to experiencing and understanding so much more. When we realize that we are part of the whole, communicating all the time with all the parts of the whole. whether we realize it or not. It's taking place. The Hermetic principle or law of correspondence states that there is a correspondence between all the different manifestations of life, all of creation, ranging from the gross matter to the spirit in the universe. Why is that so? Because not only does everything exist from the same source, originates from the same source, it's also subject to the exact same laws, forces, movements, and cycles. There is always correspondence between all the different manifestations of life. There is always correspondence between the physical, the mental, and the spiritual planes. So there is always communication between the physical, the mental, and the spiritual planes. The Law of Correspondence, now this is written by the team this morning and speaking to me that I would lead into this conversation with this writing. So it's the Law of Correspondence for the purpose of this broadcast refers to the inner world and the outer world of your life experience. What's inside, what you're holding as far as beliefs inside of you, and what is outpictured into your reality, that which you call reality. There is your absolute truth, which is unchangeable, unwavering to any circumstance, and not of your design. Your absolute truth. That's unmutable. That's unchangeable. That's absolute. That's different from what our story is, what our understanding is, what we're believing about ourselves. This is the absolute truth. An absolute truth. We are divine beings of light. Everything is always about us in this life. Everything's about us. It begins and ends with us because it's our understanding of what's taking place. Our perception comes from inside of us and is projected outwards. And if we think of the outwards that I'm talking about, we think about the field. We think of that as the mind source. We can say the mind of God, the allness. And that source will always mirror back to us that which we are putting out. So it mirrors back to us. So it begins with us and ends with us, comes right back. Who you are in truth and who you believe yourself to be are not the same. There is your absolute truth, which is unchangeable, unwavering to any circumstance, and not of your design, but of your Creator's expression. You are a divine being of love. Individuated aspects of God consciousness. Like an ocean wave, you exist as part of the ocean. A wave rises and falls. It is always and ever part of the ocean. It's the ocean when it's calm, it's flat. When it's got a little wind, the wave rises up, and then it falls. Never can it be separated from that which it is. When a wave erupts, it is not separate from the calm below. It is part of the ocean. Yet you can scoop up a bucket of ocean water and remove it from the ocean as water in a bucket. But you can never remove the properties of the ocean from the water. It still remains ocean water. You can create a story for this ocean water and tell how it belongs to you. This is your water. You can give it a name. You could change its color. You can change its smell. You can create an image of the water that is yours according to your personal desire. However, the structure of the water remains ocean water. You are born into life as part of the Creator God to have a human experience. You are first and foremost a spiritual being having a human experience, a spiritual being in a physical body having a human experience. So, a spirit being that's now playing in the physical field, doing a dance with the energy, the denser energy, and experiencing life through the five senses. The spirit is beyond the five senses, but experiencing life in a sensory world is what we're doing here. That which is of the human condition is in play, and we are doing a dance with that to experience ourselves in the true nature of our being. You are born into life as part of the Creator. You are spirit. You are aware in consciousness. You are aware that you are present in the physical world for the first few years of life, usually around from birth to age 7. By age 7, we're usually conditioned and molded into the beliefs of those around us, our parents, our peers, our teachers. We're usually pretty much set, and we begin to lose our connection to spirit. We're not as aware of that pure connection. Once we reach the age of 7, it's like the age of reasoning for most people. There are always exceptions, but for most people. For the first few years of life, you remain aware of your correspondence with your divine connection. However, the communication, once you reach approximately the age of 7, it starts to disappear. However, the communication with your divine soul never ceases to exist. When I say disappear, it disappears from our awareness, from our conscious mind. We're no longer aware. Even when you are seemingly unaware, it's taking place. It's still taking place, even though you're seemingly unaware. The universe is always communicating with us in a plethora of ways. From communicating with us through a song on a radio, through somebody calling us up and telling us something, a message, through an animal appearing in our life that doesn't usually appear, through so many different signs and symbols, through dreams. There's conversation always taking place through our own, when we're tuned in and connected to our intuition, and we're tuned in and we're feeling and we're moving with that ease and grace. We are tuned in to that inner guidance that is the correspondence taking place between ourselves here in the physical and our soul. This correspondence flows through the energetic resonance of your thoughts, your emotions, feelings that you release into the field. And if we think of the field as the mind, the God mind, we can think of it as it's all mind. And when we release our energy into the field, then we receive back. It mirrors back to us that energy. Universe or mind, your vibratory frequency, and this is then mirrored back, as I just said, in the form of your thoughts, events, circumstances, as communication from your continuation of evolutionary expanse of consciousness to the return of oneness or unity consciousness. Now, when we're giving off our energy, and if we're very fearful, that energy is what we call misaligned. Misaligned by nature because it's out of alignment with the truth of your being. The truth of your being is love. Fear is out of alignment with love. So when we are holding fearful thoughts and we're giving that energy off to the universe, that is what we're going to be receiving back in the form of thoughts, events, circumstances, that which validate how we're feeling. We are divine love in action by true nature, but we are acting out of fear when we are holding fearful thoughts. And we all experience that. And the reason why it's mirrored back in circumstances, events, and thoughts is it comes back to us because that's the dialogue. That's the correspondence that needs to take place between the inner and outer worlds so that we may come to realization of what it is we are doing within our consciousness. We need that mirror to mirror back so that we have a potential to get a glimpse of what's going on and say, whoa, wait a minute. This event is happening and it doesn't feel good. And I know that what I'm holding in my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, I give off to the universe and it gives me back, mirrors back to me what I'm holding. I'm holding fearful energy. I'm in fear. I'm misaligned. Now, some people will say, okay, well, if I'm misaligned, I've got to go back to where that initial belief, I subscribe to that initial belief and do a healing on that. I've got to dive back into my past and I've got to look at everything. Yeah, you could do that, and that would take a lot of time and energy to do so, and you may not arrive at that, where you want. It doesn't need to be. It does not need to be to bring about a different outcome, to bring about healing, to heal and to have a different outcome. We don't have to go digging deep into the recesses of our psyche and figure out what's going on and how we created a belief that we're holding inside of us and manifesting in our life. As soon as we recognize, we come to the awareness that, oh, there's something happening here that doesn't feel good. We're over the target, so to speak. We're right where we need to be. This doesn't feel good. I don't want to experience this. I am a divine being of light. I am a child of God. I hold within me the properties of a creator being, just as the creator who created me, just as the ocean and the ocean water. I can now shift through my choice, and choice is key here, choice point. I could shift. I could choose a different experience. I'm experiencing that something here, and I've come to the awareness that I don't want this. It doesn't feel good. I want something better. I want a better feeling. I want a better experience. So then what needs to take place is for me to choose to focus my energy on what it is I want and not that I do not want. Not that I do not want, which is what I'm currently experiencing. So that becomes very real to me, and I recognize where I am in my consciousness. And then I say, oh, I want to rise up from this. I want to experience something that is of a love, say love, and not fear. I want to experience beauty. I want to experience abundance. I want to experience prosperity. I want to experience good relationships. If I'm in a relationship that's hurtful and I'm not happy, I need to do something. I need to either work on the relationship or I need to work my way out of it. One or the other. And we get to choose what we want to do. But we must make that choice. And that choice point, we must choose. And then take our mind and focus, because the mind is the builder, it's the creator source here. Hold it in your mind. I hold it in my mind. I see in my mind. I feel in my body what I wish to experience, not that which I am experiencing. And I say this, that it's so important in what's happening in our lives currently. And there's a lot of chaos, and there's a lot of destruction, and there's a lot of unhappiness, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of anger. And we ask ourselves, do I want to live in that field of frustration and anger and unhappiness and chaos? And most of us are going to say no to that. We do not want to. So then I ask, what do you say yes to? What do you say yes to? What is it that you want to experience? What do you want to bring into manifestation? Because what you hold in your mind and you really believe, now you've got to hold the belief that it's yours. I hold this in my mind, a better opportunity for me. There's a better relationship for me. As I hold that in my mind, I start moving in that direction. I start doing some work on myself inside, because so inside, that which is inside is that which appears in the world of effects. This is the law of correspondence. What we hold within will always be reflected on the outside. Everything is corresponding. In all of creation, there's communication. It's all taking place within the mind of God, all within the mind. Everything is communicating. All of the planets, the cosmology, the astrology, when we were born, the date we were born, the time we were born, the alignment of the planets impacts us. There's correspondence taking place there. Numerology, correspondence taking place there. The tarot, it's a story. It's a story of the soul's journey. There's correspondence taking place there. Correspondence is in every aspect of creation. And we have that term, so above in heaven, so it is below on earth. We are to experience heaven on earth. And it's ours to do, ours to choose, ours to open up to allow, through the healing of all that is not aligned. As we move through our life, this is what we're doing. That which is not aligned, when we're in correspondence with the soul, we're in correspondence with the God mind, we're giving off information that is not in alignment. So it goes out and then it's rejected. It goes no further. It comes right back to us. It has to, because it can't enter that field. That's pure love. So it's coming back to us so that we get the message, this is not love. Try again. Reevaluate your position. Examine where you are in your beliefs. And this is part of taking full responsibility for oneself. This is what is necessary for us to evolve to unity consciousness. And this is where we're going. This is our destiny. And how soon we arrive or not is up to us. But the world of which we're living in, the outer effects, is the collective consciousness of misalignment, of miscreations, of that which is in fear and not love, of that which is not aligned with love. Doesn't mean that it can't exist. It does, it exists, but it can't sustain itself. It will eventually crumble because it must return to the field of love. So we're experiencing the breakdown of all that's not holding the energy aligned with love. It's not of truth, the absolute truth. We're experiencing the exposure of lies, of corruption, of manipulation, of power, misused power. We all can access the energy of power, but how we use it defines the experience we have. What is our intention? Are we aware of what we're doing? Are we paying attention to what the signals are in our outer world? If we are going through life from a physical perspective and we are not feeling well, and we feel there's a loss of energy in our body system, we may be discouraged, we may be feeling a little down, we may be moving into depression. There are signs that take place before we start spiraling down. And it's up to us to heed the signs, because this is the correspondence that's taking place, letting us know, oh, this does not feel good. You're meant to be and experience the love of which you are, the wellness, the abundance, the freedom. This is the true nature of your being. If you're living something outside of that, you're living the miscreations, the misalignment, until you choose differently. No one could choose for you. We can't choose for someone else. We know that. We've tried. All of us have tried. We've tried to change someone else. We've tried to persuade someone to see something differently at times because of our heart, especially healers. We want to heal. We don't want anyone to suffer. And we said, just if you just realize this, it would be so much easier for you. But no, we hit a wall. We hit resistance because the one holding that energy is not ready to give it up yet. And that's okay. That's okay, because our destiny is the same. We're all destined to return to oneness because we are oneness. We cannot dissolve that which we are. We are all connected. Everything is interconnected. Everything is in correspondence, always. Whether or not we're aware of that, whether or not we choose to look in that direction, or we choose to ignore the signs and the symbols, because we are invested in a belief that tells us otherwise. And we can believe in whatever we choose, for as long as we choose. But when we choose to move in the direction of love, then that's where our energy flows. And that's what begins to arrive in our physical world. the expression of that which is of love, that which feels good, that which is in right relationship to others in the world around us. That when we can say, oh, this moves with ease and grace, rather than this is such a struggle. If there's such a struggle going on, look at what we're holding within our belief about ourselves. Not what we believe about others, because others are mirroring back to us what we need to see. That's another way of which we receive the correspondence by those around us as we interrelate. That's the design of creation. We're always interrelating. We're interrelating with each other and all aspects of creation at all times. We are life, and life is ever in expansion of love, only love, life affirming. Therefore, that which is not aligned is rejected and sent back. Always. Can be no other way. It can be no other way. No one gets a free ride, so to speak. No one gets it easier than another. Some people, and I hear this said, oh, well, they just seem to be so gifted. Really? Is that true? Or have they earned what is titled a gift? Have they earned it? Nothing comes without an invitation. So if someone's having a time and it's an easier time, it's because it's their time to experience an easier time because they've earned it. And they're holding the thoughts within themselves about themselves that are loving. Therefore, they experience that energy. So all we need to do is shift our thinking, change the way we think and perceive, and that which we perceive changes. This is not by chance. This is law. It operates the same for everyone. It's not exclusive. There is nothing in creation of which is exclusive. It's all interconnected, interwoven, all in a dance of life. We may be playing a certain role, and we may have that exclusive role to play, but it doesn't mean that all of creation doesn't get to express that energy. We do. We are interconnected with everything. We can never be separated. We exist in the field, in the mind. Everything's in the mind. The upper mind, not our lower mind, when I say that. Now that you are aware of who you are and your focus is to be upon that which you are and not that which you are not. So set your intention to experience as love. Listen to your intuitive guidance. Feel what feels good, calm, balanced. That which is not calm, that which is not balanced, that which does not feel good, needs to take place. It's a calling for love. It's a calling to tune to love. We're going to experience that which we are holding within us. That's a fact. That's a law. That's individually and collectively. In our world today, it is the collective expression of energy. That which has been going on for a very, very long time. But what we see happening here, and we call it a great shift and awakening, is because we're starting to wake up. We're starting to realize that we hold responsibility for our own expression of energy. We've created stories about ourselves that are not true. And as we start to create that which is in alignment with love, we start experiencing from a different frequency. We start experiencing a different reality. It doesn't mean that the collective reality around us isn't still going to be in shambles and it's going to be in a chaos, but it means that we are rising up in our frequency. We're shifting dimension, we're shifting reality. We can still view the chaos, but the chaos can't touch us. We get to see it. We get to be of the viewing of it, but we are not in the thick of it because we're no longer in resonance vibrationally. And the more of us that can increase our frequency, increase our awareness, our vibratory rate, and rise up, the collective begins to rise. And we can create the world of which we choose to experience. No one or no thing has control or ownership over any of us at any time, unless we say so. If we submit, if we hold the belief that someone has power over us, then they do. But if we turn that belief around and we say, oh, no, you don't. You caught me in a moment of weakness where I was believing that I was not powerful and that you held power over me. Well, in this moment, on this day, that all changes. I take my power back and I begin to express my energy by becoming aware of the thoughts that I'm holding in consciousness. How am I feeling about me? That's where we begin. How am I feeling about me? Do I feel comfortable in my own skin? Am I comfortable with this physical body? Most of us are not, for one reason or another. So we begin there. We begin by understanding that this body is the outpicturing of that which we're holding inside of us. It's exactly the way it needs to be. The color, the size, the shape, the age, everything is perfect for what we need to come to realization of. It's assisting us. It's in this game of life with us, doing a dance with us. And when we realize that, we give thanks for the body. Oh, thank you for being the temple of which the spirit of that which I am resides. Thank you, arms, for moving. If our arms are moving, our legs, our feet, our eyes, our ears, whatever is functioning for us in the way of which is assisting us in moving forward. Thank you, mind, for you are the builder. And when I can focus on my thoughts, not dissecting every single thought, but just becoming aware of the thoughts that are not aligned with love, that are not loving, that which tells me I'm not worthy, that which tells me I'm not good enough, that which tells me that I'm wrong, that which tells me that I'm small, that which tells me that I'm not as strong as someone else, or as smart as someone else, or as beautiful as someone else. Those are the thoughts that we want to pull from the garden of our mind. Those are the weeds. And we want to pull those thoughts and we want to replace them with seeds of love, seeds that when we replace them and we water them by attuning to them, by repeating them, by affirming them, by declaring them. We start by affirming. Affirming is I state, I am a beautiful being of light. I am a beautiful being of light. That's an affirmation. We're affirming that. And the more we affirm, the more our mind, our conscious mind opens up to that. And then our subconscious. And then we get to a point where we can declare it as so, with a feeling inside of us that, yes, it is it. I'm believing wholeheartedly in this. I declare. And when we declare, now we are able to embody that. We're declaring it. We're putting that out to the universe. The universe is going to send that back to us and let us know by the change we see in our environment that reflects the energy of what we've just declared. So we're never in the dark. We're never alone. We are always in constant communication with the soul. It's constantly speaking with us. The universe around us is constantly letting us know. Mirror, mirror. It's always sending back to us that which we are giving out through persons, places, things. Always. All we need to do is become aware and take responsibility for it. Stop blaming someone else for how badly you feel. Stop blaming your government. Stop blaming your partner. Stop blaming your parents. Stop blaming the date of which you were born. Stop blaming and say, oh my gosh, my feet are on this earth. Oh my gosh, I'm here. How beautiful is that? Because it means that I get to pivot. It means that I'm still breathing and I have the opportunity to choose differently. I have the opportunity to connect with my soul knowingly and expand. And the growth of which you experience when you leave this earth, you take with you. The expanse of your consciousness remains with you. You've earned it. You've done the work. All that you get in this physical world, all this commercialism, this material stuff is a distraction to take us away from doing the work that we came to do, which is to realize that we are love. Experience it through the contrast of that which we are not. We're not meant to amass material stuff. That stuff can't go anywhere with you. It will stay right where it is. And it will crumble because it's temporary. That which is permanent is consciousness. We are that. Everything of this earth is temporary. Relationships of which we have, and we want them to last forever because they feel so good sometimes. But they are temporary too. They have a beginning. And because they have a beginning, guess what? They have an end. That end and the beginning are the experience of that we have on this earth. That does not mean that when we transition, the energy of which we interrelated with in the form of a partner or anyone else is gone. We connect with it in spirit on the level of love. We meet in that field where everyone is equal, where it's pure, and we connect and reflect and enjoy each other in a whole new way. But we have to let go of the earthly experience because that belongs right here on this plane. And for many people, this might sound crazy or, just a little too out there. But this is what I know to be. And this is how it is expressed to me. And how it comes to me and through me is how I offer it to you. These are not opinions. This is the expression of the teachings of oneness. To understand that we are one. And if we want to feel good in our mind, our body, our spirit, they're all connected. We can't be thinking trash in our mind and feel good in our body. If we've got garbage in our mind, our body's going to be experiencing that. We're going to feel like garbage. And our spiritual growth is not going to be the expanse that we could have. We want to clean our minds. We want to remove the dirt from the mind. The dirt from the mind is referring to anything that is not love. Anything that takes us away from aligning with God, the Creator, infinite intelligence, nature. This is a time of which we must align. And we'll align right where we find ourselves in the moment, wherever we are in our current level of awareness. We're all at different levels of awareness. That's where we need to be. We're all evolving at our own rate. And there is no push. There is no more for you, less for me. It's all an equal field here. We just need to open to that and stop believing in the separation. Stop believing in the divisiveness. Stop believing in that we're less than someone else. Stop it. We get to do that. We get to choose. This is a programming that's being impressed upon us, but we get to tear it off. We get to say no more. No more. Go back to where you came from. That's what we do with energy that comes our way that we don't want to experience. Go back to where you came from. Just like the source in correspondence refuses it, sends it back. Send back energy that comes for you that you don't want. Go back to where you came from. For I am the master of my experience, and I choose love. I choose love. I choose to experience myself in a loving manner. If I want a loving partner, and I'm not experiencing that, I'm experiencing everything outside of that, I've got to stop blaming the partners that I attract because they're attracted to me because we have like energy. I've got to work on me first and then see what's attracted to me. I hope that makes sense. And that goes for any aspect of our life. Let's do the work. Let's dig our heels in and do the work. Let's take 100% responsibility for our life and stop thinking that we're going to be saved by who sits in office of the president of our country, by what party we belong to. That's bullshit. It is not doing anyone any good. We need to look at that and go, look at this. This is craziness. This is madness. It's pitting one human against the other. We're de-evolving instead of evolving. Stop it. We want to evolve. We want to grow. We want to move forward. So we can do that, each and every one of us. Let's begin by self-reflecting. Let's look at what's happening in our life and realize it's letting us know where we are in consciousness. And if we don't like it, it's up to us to choose differently. And on that, I'm going to end for tonight. We are all love, created as love, by love, to experience love. This is the truth for all. And it becomes self-evident whenever we step outside of the field of love, we experience pain and suffering. Live the fruits of your spirit. Shine brightly for all to see. Hold the light for those who have yet to realize that they too are light. Be the light in your world. Remember, above all, love is the answer. Thank you for joining me. Good night.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.